Welcome to another episode of CXO 55. Our guest today is Mr. Ananth Subramanian, EVP and Head IT at Kotak Mahindra Asset Management Company. As the BFSI industry is experiencing significant technological advancements, today we will be discussing how asset management organizations are harnessing technology to enhance operational efficiency, customer experience, and market competitiveness. Welcome, Ananth. We would love to hear your insights on how asset management companies are leveraging technology to optimize their operational efficiency, elevate the customer experience, and maintain a leading position in the highly competitive BFSI industry.
Yeah, thanks, Kalpana and team. In an honor to be on this five-side chat today. Looking forward to the discussion. Yeah.
Yeah. So, artificial intelligence and machine learning are revolutionizing various sectors. How are asset management companies leveraging AI and ML technologies to enhance investment decision making, risk management, and portfolio optimization?
Oh, that's a lot of to begin with. Yeah. The asset management business is quite different from what other BFSI companies like typically a bank or even securities business or even a life insurance, where there is a lot more interaction happening directly with the customers. For the asset management business, it's the RTA in between who does all the activities, and largely it's more of a distributor driven business. So for us, the customers per se, turn out to be the distributors for us, who in turn obviously sell our product, our schemes to the end customers. Having said that, yeah, so largely for us, the technological, the developments or the improvements that we do at our end, largely we try to ensure that the distributor support is to the maximum. For us, it's very, very essential that the distributor is able to reach out to the customer and carry out the transaction as required. But having said that, it's not that customers can't come to our website and do business. Yes, that's very much available. In fact, apart from these, we also have while we have our own branches spread across the country, we also have the R&D having its own office. Like investors as such can either come to my office, come to the R&D office, or go to the distributor and kind of do the transaction. So largely, yes, there are multiple channels available today in the market for a customer to invest in the mutual fund. Business. Having said that, it's a challenge to know everybody would like the customer to continue having the investments. Not like to redeem, like to have the inflows coming in and keep redemption as minimum as possible. So there are various schemes which help in this regard, and it's a challenge for asset management businesses to know as to know the intent of the customer at the other end at any point of time, whether he's going to do a redemption, whether he's happy with the business that is being the service that is being provided to him, because he may have some grievances. It's very necessary that whether he is having any long-term pending issues which needs to be addressed, whether it's or even a distributor for that, but a distributor may have issues in terms of his commissions not having come in time, his brokerage not being paid, and all that. So it's very essential that we cater to these grievances and we sort them out as soon as possible. So our AI/ML journey, in some sense, has been more on those lines, where we have been tracking customer sentiments. So when a ticket is raised, we do get some bit of an intent reading at his mails, as to what is the what kind of sentiment is the customer trying to portray, whether he's upset with the business or whether he's happy or he's okay with whatever is there. Some of those things were done some years back, where we started running some AI/ML on the customer's emails to understand his sentiment. From apart from that, yes, I think largely, it will be very, very, what we call, I think more of a magic, and it will be a wow factor for us if we are able to actually if we are able to get through AI/ML. If any customer is about to redeem, then we can probably, approach him and find out as to why he would want to redeem, what are the reasons, if it's a product issue or a service issue or, whatever the reason, and kind of hold on the redemption if possible. And of course, the other factors like cross-sell, upsell have been, mis-selling. A lot of regulatory pressures today for us are necessary. I mean, we need to, and we are a highly regulated industry, and we need to ensure that we are on the right side of the law in terms of the regulations. So, whether any mis-selling is happening, anyone who should not be sold a particular category of a product is being sold, so those are the, I don't know, whether information that the investor's data is accurate. It should not happen that somebody else is transacting on his behalf or whatever. So all those things, and our AI/ML journey has been more towards governance, towards identifying the right intent of the customer. So these are the areas that we have been kind of working on so far.
Sure. So the digital has brought about a significant transformation in the way investors engage with asset management companies. How is Kotak Mahindra Asset Management Company embracing digital channels to provide a seamless and personalized experience for investors? And if you can share any notable digital initiative or strategies.
Uh, so we have a separate digital team which kind of use the entire digital portfolio, and obviously, like every other fund house or everybody wants to be in the forefront of the digital arena. Uh, but the challenges for all the asset management companies are like, typically when a customer comes to my website, right, he's going to be offered only my products, correct? So we are not a distributor per se. We are not an aggregator of various investment. Although our own portfolio may have various varieties of products, but obviously I am not a platform where you can buy a non-Kotak scheme or invest in a stock or invest. So for us, the limitations are there. Having said that, we have been improving on our distributor channel. So a distributor per se can obviously offer multiple products for the customers. So when a customer comes to the platform, he is obviously going to be given the right bouquet, the right mix of products based on his or her risk appetite. So we have built solutions which enhance these platforms. We have been working with a lot of distributors. We have been offering, and see, every end of the day, even if it's a small IFA at the rural end of the country, and he may want to obviously have the power of digitalization at his own end. So we have enabled platforms for these distributors so that he can onboard customers himself, right? He can so digital KYC, civic KYC. There's a lot of, there's a lot of API banking happening today. So all those integrations are pretty easy. But how do you empower the distributor to kind of carry on business digitally? It's something that we have been working upon, and we have built platforms. We have a platform called Kotak Business Hub, through which a distributor can do transactions on behalf of the customer with the authorizations which are enabled in the system. So this was a large step that we did, and we have seen continuous flows of investments happening through those channels also. So we have to fight with all the growers of the world, of the various other chains, the BSC chain, or the so many other platforms which offer not just mutual funds but also offer stock investments, portfolios, and all that. We are other significantly with the back office R&D. So a lot of services that can happen maybe through the R&D are also now enabled through our platform, whether it's simple account statement or it's a simple capital gain statement, or so many other requirements that are there. So any channel, any request that comes, you get a ticket getting generated, and automatically a lot of responses go automatically. It's not that somebody at the call center needs to actually. So a lot of automations have happened in that regard. We also keep validating a lot of investor information using various robotic process automation tools to ensure that the data. See, whenever if any request comes and if the data doesn't go to the customer at the other end because of some invalid credential or invalid email ID and invalid mobile numbers, that also is a challenge. So we keep automating some of the processes to ensure that the governance is absolutely accurate in terms of giving the right information to the right person at the other end. So we have been strengthening all of these at the back end using various tools, whether it's AIML or whether it's RPA. So these are all the newer technologies which we have been using optimally, and trying to see that we give a better customer experience.
Sure. So you spoke about the platform. So first thing, that what kind of technology we have for this platform, and Is it that it was there pre-COVID also, or is it something that these initiatives have been taken during COVID or after COVID? And because I mean, customer today is not just now expecting that these servers should always be on, but they also, especially the Generation Z, is looking for speed. So, kindly throw some light on these aspects.
Right. So our digitalization journey, we kind of started pre-COVID. It was not that COVID, as like for everyone else, it kind of only accelerated the journey. But we started our platform building on to offer all the newer services that way. There were not that we didn't have a website through which people could not transact, but a lot of enhancements were done, and I think the power. The entire journey got accelerated thanks to COVID. Okay, so and that happened more so because the ecosystem that surrounded these platforms also scaled up. Some of the APIs which were missing earlier were subsequently available to do all these online. Uh, so these the entire digital piece that we have today for the product is completely on cloud for us. We have the entire piece on cloud today, and that has helped us be a lot more agile in terms of delivery, because to spin up an instance on the cloud is a lot more easier. And most important for us was the security of this entire piece, right? For us, while platforms may be there, and if it's not secure, especially from a BFSI perspective, it was very necessary. So we had to do a lot of we did evaluate the entire architecture multiple times, and we keep doing that on an ongoing basis to ensure that the customer's data at the other end. So it's more of a hybrid today, where my backend is still on-prem, my customer data is really not on the cloud. But even from a risk perspective, so from a mutual fund perspective, what happens when somebody hacks in, right? If somebody hacks into your account, typically what would happen is he may do a redemption or a purchase, and with the redemption, the money is going to go into your account. If he does a purchase, the units are going to get created to your account. You don't really, if you compare it to a bank or any other business or any other transaction per se, those kind of risks are not there. But again, it's a challenge of the reputation, because Kotak as a brand, now typically even if there is anything that going wrong with Kotak mutual fund, the news out there would be like, hey, Kotak has got breached or whatever. That's something that you would definitely not want to happen. So the acceleration happened in the COVID time, and we used to in fact wonder as to whether we can actually, whether a mutual fund house can actually working from home. But we managed to do that, and because mutual fund is not just about investment, there's a lot of communications happening with the brokers, my fund management team, the treasury operations. There are so many other things that happen to ensure that the NAVs at the end of the day are available for the investor to transact. So it was a challenge, but we have been working on multiple things. We have brought in a lot of cloud technologies, I would put it that way, whether it's VPNs, with all the other bells and whistles that comes along with these. Whether it's so even typically today, who are working within Kotak or outside Kotak, the security policies are all the same for any user. So these are all the things that have been implemented over the years, and they are kind of giving us dividends. We have all the agile technologies in place to ensure that business is not just as usual but better. Yeah.
Sure. So, with emerging technologies like such as blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and decentralized finance gaining traction in the financial industry, so how are companies like Kotak, asset management, exploring and adopting these technologies to provide innovative investment solutions and stay ahead of the curve?
Well, we are not really gone on to the path of cryptocurrencies and all, because our regulations are really not allowing us to do a lot of fancy things in that sense. Because for us, for any investment that we want to do, the citing of the funds is very essential. So I can't actually deploy any money till I actually, cite the funds. Now, to enable those, we have built in a lot of platforms that typically money will come to any of my accounts, right? And I can't have a guy sitting and logging in multiple bank accounts and And for us, everything is time critical. So, I mean, if a transaction is cited at 1:30, it's very essential that he gets the NAV of 1 o'clock, 1:30 or whatever that is applicable for that particular scheme. So it's very essential that we have systems which tell me in real time as to whether the money has come in or not. And so our applications, sometime back we had implemented a lot of, so we have been using RPA as one of the solutions to automate a lot of stuff. Apart from that, we had been using a platform which kind of, consolidated all these account statements across banks and give me a single statement which we could kind of take it back into the system and give the treasury user, an immediate view of what is the money position in terms of that particular investor or the scheme. Uh, and it also helps us give a probable match of, because you have transactions coming in from various locations and you need to ensure that the funds are cited, and then you need to inform the fund management team, okay, this money is now available for you to deploy. So we have been working on some of those areas to make it absolutely time critical. These are time critical operations. We need to ensure that there's no delay in any of these systems. Uh, these are the things that we have more concentrated upon rather than focusing on trying to do something on cryptocurrency and all. And that's still a little far away for us right now. Uh, Ours, as I told you, is more of a regulated industry, and there are which on mutual funds are allowed today. Even for that matter, credit cards are not allowed to. So it's about actually receiving the money and then crediting the user or customer with the NAVs or with the units. Yeah.
Sure. So we talked about RPA and a lot of automation and AI also. So with AI, I think like as ethical considerations around emerging technologies like AI and automation are gaining attention now. So how do you approach ethical decision making and technology implementation? And what steps do organizations need to take to ensure responsible and ethical use of technology?
Yeah, it's a good question. So actually, the regulation that surround us, to begin with, we are not bought any funds to the customer. Okay, we are not supposed to sell our schemes online or say that, yeah, this is a scheme you should invest, this is the return. Because mutual fund investments are all subject to market risk, right? I mean, they are completely dynamic in terms of the way our investments go with the market flow. And if something goes wrong with the market, obviously the investments will get impacted. Having said that, it's very essential that the investor at the other end gets the input on what the investments, how the investments have been doing. And if it gives him inputs to say switch or change or modify any of his portfolio, then those are a kind of welcome. Uh, Having said that, yeah, it's something that we can't do directly. Everything that we may do, it has to happen through the distributor. So it's very necessary that we don't go on the wrong side of the regulator. Uh, we are absolutely our entire data. My applications are on the cloud, my database is still on prem. There's a lot of protection around the customer's information, customer data. There is nothing. The PI is taken very, very seriously. All the data is encrypted, whether it's at rest, whether it's in motion, and there are various other factors, various other things that have been put in place to see to it that users or even any third-party person who is using our data in some form is not in any position to take the data out of my system and be the authentication. Uh, these are all, I mean, hygiene today. Honestly, when you talk about customer data, customer transaction, these are all basic hygiene things to be done today. They are as good as as putting up a simple antivirus. I mean, good old days used to have say antivirus hacking system. So antivirus used to be the basic thing that was necessary for things to run. But today, I think it's not just antivirus, but you need to have those 10 other things which are required to make the system run. So those are all there in place, and those are necessary, and that's how the industry also is moving along. We've been, we have almost the last 2 months or so, we have been getting a lot of circulars from the regulator on how your cloud framework should be, on how your audit should be, what should be your checkpoints. So all these are being, kind of adhered to. The industry is growing, and there are a lot of challenges in terms of, how to comply with some of these regulatory requirements. Whether it's data localization to begin with, that the systems which you have been using, which may probably not be having a data localization at present, but you need to ensure that you have a copy of the data in some form. Which I think today in our industry, most of us have that data. But it's an ongoing risk and challenge which we keep addressing as and when any such item does pop up.
Absolutely. So, like, it's now kind of switching gears, and we are going to talk about ESG, which is, I think, has gained momentum in recent years. So, can you talk about how Kotak Mahindra Asset Management Company is incorporating ESG considerations into its investment processes and leveraging technology to analyze ESG factors?
No, absolutely. I think ESG is considered very, very seriously in our organization, and there are, in fact, we have a product which centers around ESG and also the investment decisions that happen. So, typically, when you talk of a scheme, there will be multiple stocks within that particular scheme where the investments happen. So, a lot of research goes into the stock picking that happens as to how much of each and these organizations. And so it's a culture. It has evolved over a period of time, and it is very much a serious part of the stock picks that happen while the investment managers consciously do the trades. And this is part of the, what you call, due diligence. It's now part of the due diligence for us whenever we pick up a stock, as to whether the ESG compliance is there, not there, and we are very much focused on some of these very essential factors. Like there is growth, there is investment, and all that may happen, but very necessary that some of these aspects are kind of considered. So it's an essential part of the organization's strategy, investment strategy.
Now, so lastly, can you please share your technology focus areas and priorities over the next 2 to 3 years?
3 years, wow, yeah. I think the digital journey, while we started some time back, has only gathered pace and accelerations. A lot of legacy applications which may still be there. I think the path is we're already working on to try and modernize some of them. The cloud journey has, it started with the initial digital piece, but we're now working on the hybrid cloud model where we are not tying ourselves to any single cloud service provider per se, whether it's maybe analytics piece or whether it's building up a complete API ecosystem. So we've been looking at other cloud partners for some of these areas, and believe that's a way is to grow. Because we have evaluated some of these platforms and found really good solutions. If you really explore, bit outside and look at other solutions which are being offered by various cloud partners. While largely some of them may have similar, timelines to kind of implement and roll out, but some of these stacks, the idea is to see how easy we can have interoperability. So, sometime back I was talking on a cloud sales, but I said, you guys, to ensure there is interoperability across clouds, make our job easier. You restrict solutions to your own native platforms, but in case I want to use hybrid cloud, which is what the world is wanting to do, you also need to open up some channels at the back end to say that the cloud to cloud, journey is a lot more easier. We have at present not really, what do you call, thought of any bringing back anything back into to one week. The way out. There will be definitely be a lot of security, a lot of solutions that will be used to govern these cloud platforms. So we have been implementing a lot of, while we have our SOC and SIM and all that, we have been doing a lot of implementation on the NOC area to see to it that there is, there is a full stack observability platform that is, coming on, getting implemented, which will give you a great, and some of these solutions are really wonderful. They give you an insight which will tell you, which customer at the other end, is having a problem at what was the problem that we had. So those kind of journeys, will help us, serve the customer a lot more personally. I would put it a lot more personally because uh, while you may have issues, and if the customer knows that the organization is aware about the customer's technical issue and is calling up to resolve that, that will be really, really helpful. So it's an ongoing journey. The mutual fund industry per se, it's still at a natural stage. There's a lot of investment happening over the many years, a lot of SIPs and all happening. But I think we are still at the tip of the iceberg compared to whatever the global industry is doing. There's a lot of opportunity for the industry to grow, and more or less the business. I mean, there are avenues open in terms of whether it's PMS, whether it's AI. There are always, every day, other day there's new investment opportunity happening, and we hope to be there in all those areas with the best possible technology.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for sharing your insights on the technological advancements and the digital strategies being adopted by companies, asset management companies like Kotak. And I'm sure our CXO audience will surely benefit from this discussion. And it was a pleasure speaking with you, Ananth.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.